So in case you haven't heard already by now, that big deal that iHeartRadio and / Breakfast Club, because they're part of the deal,
Shut up, Black.
signed to Netflix, because now Netflix is trying to compete with YouTube as far as podcast game. So over 15 plus specific shows have been signed. No one is saying exactly how much each person is going to get as far as this contract, but Charlamagne actually has his own portion. They just keep saying the $200 million deal, and Charlamagne did sign his own separate 5-year deal to bring in more shows as well. Including the Breakfast Club.
Somebody said, shut up, Brown.
Oh, that's funny. Including the Breakfast Club, out of the 15 other podcast shows, is also Fat Joe and Jadakiss's The Joe and Jada Show. They have been inked as well in this deal. And again, and so once January comes, they didn't give a date, but apparently, all the older episodes will not be available on YouTube. So if anybody...
Isn't that something? Netflix is trying to compete with YouTube. Give it up for us, man. That's crazy. Yeah, that's insane when you think about it. But we what the culture's feeling. 5150, Faucette Media, I think it's time the culture comes to us, for once. We've actually been out here putting in the work, gathering eyeballs. I think it's time. Instead of them going with the safe bet of going with a radio show like The Breakfast Club. That's interesting about the deal and how the deal's structured. I wonder if those two things are correlated. The fact that Charlamagne is getting $200 million out of nowhere, and the podcast deal with Netflix kind of went through with iHeart, because I think iHeart has its own deal with Netflix. All of their podcasts, of course, Charlamagne's company, the Black Effect Network, is under the iHeart umbrella. So, he hasn't gone off independent or solo, and they were just kind of announcing it as a whole thing. But if you come with that many podcasts, it's going to cost a pretty penny.
Ever recording? I don't know. So now you're going to have to watch it on Netflix.
So this is what I got to say about that. We hold the attention of thousands of people for over 2 hours.
That's right.
Everybody that ain't stepped up and did what the people want. Because the people want this, and it shows every week.
Let's go.
Any that ain't up with the shit.
What's the formula behind signing rappers?
Dick in that.
Oh, yeah. I'm just saying, rappers and ball players. I like Cam and May's show. I like a few, but for the most part, them niggas don't be. And I'm not saying anybody specific. They don't be having no game, no conversation, nothing.
It's about the recognition. The brands are risk averse, so they see somebody that's already got a following of sorts, say an athlete or a former rapper, and they feel more comfortable taking a risk on that. As opposed to like a Corey Holcomb, who has his own name in comedy and selling out theaters, and comedy clubs. So why wouldn't that also be a draw? It comes down to those same decision makers limiting. But it's coming. It's definitely coming. I'm telling you. Mark my words. You heard it here first.
Like, what's the... Okay.
This is what they want produced to the public. This shit, I don't give a fuck who get mad. Watch this. I know I sugarcoated it last week, but let me say something. These media outlets are putting trash in abundance in people's eyes. So much to the point where people turn trash into art. It wasn't funny. He philosophizes. Uh-oh. Shut the fuck up. It's trash. When you play it in the future, people going to be like, what the fuck is this? This is nothing. This is nothing. I said it before it got hot. I ain't finna hate on nobody. Trash is being produced for us to have to get used to watching trash.
Wow.
Trash. That's all it is. You want a deal? Put trash. This cake ass nigga, what is his name? Dr. Umar. That motherfucker's starting to promote trash. Because let me tell you something, his back against the wall now.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
When the money get low and the hungriness show, when one can get donations from people, you pro-black. It's some stuff happening now where you like, huh? He said something about 50 Cent. Like, P. Diddy ain't had no business talking about 50 Cent woman. If he know that's his woman, he shouldn't have turned her out like that. I'm not saying the words exactly. You don't know nothing about that. That used to be D-Ray. We used to watch the sell T-shirts with D-Ray. Then the motherfucker with paper came, so she was like, selling these T-shirts. I'm finna go over here and get this paper. Got a baby. After she got the baby and the money security over there, she f***ing with Puffy in the streets. If you don't know this, it's because you ain't up on things. All them come from nothing, homie. They hustling. We talking about this. I don't want to sound like I'm hating on my brother Charlamagne at the Breakfast Club because I'm not hating on him. But what I'm saying, if you go get bitches off baddies and put it on your show, if you go get a that takes from the community line saying he putting a school together and put it on your show, you are part of the system's intention toward bringing us down. So that's why. But if you put astute, moral blacks on your show, you will get nothing. If you speak from the heart, well, you ain't got to speak in code. There's a lot of brothers speaking code because they don't want to lose their YouTube money. YouTube and the money. I say what the fuck I'm going to say as best as I can say it. And I think my people at YouTube who like to watch somebody speak from the heart agrees. I don't.
Well, you know, he's saying something very important there. Ultimately, it's about your audience. And it doesn't necessarily matter which platform you have them on. I think at a certain time it did matter more because you would get more front page exposure. But once you have that audience, even if that platform is your personal website, that becomes your monetizable asset and you don't have to answer to anybody. That's why you see a lot of content creators looking to have platforms outside. That's why I started the Patreon. I mean, it's slow growing, but you know, I'm still putting content up of, you know, videos that can't be found on YouTube for one reason or another, or were buried by the algorithm. That's a whole nother issue, you know. But I think the freedom of speech, like a Corey Holcomb needs and wants, is going to come probably outside of YouTube. Even with the confines of the platform restrictions, it's still getting out to the masses. He's still getting a bigger audience. We're still doing reaction videos to him. So that in itself speaks volumes of the impact and how much further out we can project this thing and how monetizable it is, you know? And I know it's frustrating because I get frustrated too sometimes, you know? You want to say what you want to say, but then there's always somebody there to kind of rein you in and hold you back.
I don't want to disrespect YouTube guidelines because I agree to be on them. But I'm saying, I can't live with a dildo right at my ass with grease on it. I'm going to get the fuck away from me.
Get off me. Get off me.
And just be out here without no real money. I do all right without real money. Like I say, I hustle in the slums. So my might not be as rich and they can't help me, but still there. I'm sorry if I offended somebody.
And see, that's one thing Charlamagne doesn't get to talk about in this deal. I mean, Joe Budden, he's giving Charlamagne his props. But what Joe Budden was saying before this deal came out was that you did it through the company. You kind of climbed the ranks through the company, and Charlamagne calls it climbing the stairs. He climbed the stairs of iHeartMedia to get to the position that he's in. And I think what a lot of people don't realize is that it's a sweeter victory when you can do it independently on your own. When you can go off on a Patreon and still pull those numbers. Those paying patronies are actually more valuable than the listeners you would get just from a legacy platform that has all types of manipulation and paying for views and making audiences out of nothing, making people popular, king making. That's the power of independence. And I don't think a lot of people realize that that's a struggle that of the 21st century that us content creators have to face is how do we go out and make this thing monetizable on a larger scale. And I think the interesting thing is that with people like you, we're starting to get the audiences that they're undeniable. Corey Holcomb, 9,000 people in the live stream, usually 10,000 plus. I've seen people that are celebrities that can't build a platform independently. And that's the new wave right now. It's not only the new wave, it's the only wave. Because a lot of the stuff that was corporate finance, you hear people talking about their podcast now is suffering because DEI programs have been restricted and held back in this administration, which is a crying shame. So basically, those companies were only fronting by sponsoring black podcasts. And now that they don't have to, they choose not to, which should show you the type of people that you're in bed with. If your podcast is dependent on that type of funding, you know what I'm saying? And there's some good people that went down in this. Now, I'm not going to say some people I rock with, but is that's not sustainable is what it is. You understand what I'm saying? So there always has to be some type of evolution of all these platforms, of all these things, That's why I'm spreading out. I've got a Twitch. I've got a Kick that I don't use. And I've got Patreon. I've got multiple things that are here that will allow me to reach you. And I suggest Corey Holcomb do the same.
I don't think he did, but anyway. Oh, and by the way, our anniversary is coming up. I think we really have 2 anniversaries, but anyway. January 18th was when I went to go kind of try out. I didn't know. And then the 25th of January is our 16-year anniversary. So.
Wow. Congratulations.
That's dope.
16 years. How many was in the chat?
125-2010 is when we
9,500. That's TV show numbers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Your TV
Yes, it
show will
is.
stay on the air if you can get numbers like that with the promotion that come with a major network and everything.
Yeah.
The 5150 show don't.
And those are live numbers. That's not even counting the replays and the people that watch it the next morning, for whatever reason, the different time zones in the world. That's a solid live stream, you know what I'm saying? And they consistently doing it and consistently been doing it for 16 years. So bravo, the consistency will be rewarded. I'm certain of it.
Don't get is propers because they know the nigga calling it nuts hang like a. I don't even think my nuts connected to nothing else no more. They just at the bottom of my bag. That's how I am. I might not get what I'm supposed to get from whoever is stopping me from getting it. Because I can't stop all the haters. But I know the reason is 9,500 people in the thing right now. We ain't talking about all the people that's going to watch the show this week. It's because I'm riveting, and what we do up here is something that needs to be promoted on a major network. And the reason it's not promoted on a major network is because, like me, like the homie in Oakland, he a running back for the Texans. What's the dude's name?
Hold up. Let's see if we can do that, man. I think, Netflix doesn't have any language requirements. It seems like you can pretty much say what you want on Netflix. I think we should put together something to get Netflix attention to see if they can get the 5150 show on Netflix. Wouldn't that be crazy? That's what needs to happen. Then off of that, the relationship is started. Then Corey gets a chance to do his special on Netflix at some point, whether it's the singing special, the R&B that he does, or if he does a straight stand-up special, or both. You know what I'm saying? The possibilities are endless. This is my producer mind working right here. I see something as viral and consistent as the 5150 show, and Netflix has a podcast arm. What are they doing? Other than the live element on YouTube, I could see Corey moving his audience over to Netflix. Would you all put it in the comments if you all would watch Corey Holcomb 5150 show on Netflix? Let me see. I gotta put in some calls. I think I might need to get in this deal. This could actually be pretty damn good. Anyway, yo.
First, he used to play for the Cincinnati Bengals. Now he with the Texans, but he been out because he got hurt. I can't believe I'm forgetting my brother's name. I saw him in the airport. But I'm saying, all the I know who let their nuts hang. We on the outside looking in, man.
Yeah.
We on the outside looking in. If you watching the show, send a text to my phone, goddammit, because they watch the show. I'm talking about people in the NFL, NBA. I'm talking about when I'm on the plane, I see Caucasian people walking up to me, 5150. With no promotion. No promotion from them people.
Wow.
This is the show right here.
Let's go.
16 years basically in the business. You find somebody more riveting than what we do up here. Show me. Tell me so I know. I know we ain't got our producer right. Make sure it's on after the show.
We can fix that.
One day somebody might come to me with a bag. You know what, y'all? I'm going to take the bag as long as I ain't got to compromise my manhood. So bear with me if something happened where you see Corey doing a lot of commercials or some sucker shit. You ain't going to never see me advertising. That's why we use Truvada for prep. You ain't going to.
Hey, he could do a Prize Picks commercial. They had Joe Budden out there dunking. Joe Budden and Drewski dunking every basketball game. Yeah, man, why not?
See that.
They're
You ain't going to see that. I ain't going to compromise these manhood.
They're gonna make you put a bra on your balls. See,
Right.
act like that, man. Put this Victoria's Secret.
You ain't gonna see that, but I'm just saying. We, Darlene, Craig, Phil, Nail, Abe, they deserve for me to be able to get them a check where they could just let their wig back for a minute, man.
Yeah.
I was working up here off scraps. We ain't got what we supposed to get, and if we never get it, I promise you, this one right here, I ain't gonna never fold. The production I put together at the House of Blues, man, do you know how much money I come up off of that I need? But I know I got to do a certain amount. Phil up there helping me. I got to give him enough money where he can look at me like, all right, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? I got to get a cameraman that I got to do things for people where it's coming up out my bag that I got to try to hid, and my bag is light. When it really boils down to it, all you gatekeepers, all I'm telling you, I'm not finna compromise the manhood. But there's a lane for this show.
Is that something that the gatekeepers can keep their word on? You know, that's interesting, huh? I think some calls need to be made for sure. We need to make this thing a real 5150 on Netflix, huh? Talk about it. That actually sounds fire right now. If any podcast should be on Netflix right now, if they giving out podcast deals, this is one of them, man. Corey, you just came up with a good idea there, man. But anyway, y'all, what do y'all think about it? Let me know in the comments. If you like this video, like, comment, subscribe. Hit the bell notification for all uploads. The link is going to be on the screen in this QR code. This is Faucette Media. 5150. What we got to do? Set up somebody draw up a change.org or one of them petitions. Let's get the 5150 Nation out there. I think that might draw enough attention.